going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building because we are officially in the weeds of Mortal Kombat 1 and Omni-Man is expected to be released before this month is over. But will a cameo character come along with him? We have no idea because we have no roadmap. But what we do know is they plan to support this game way past Combat Pack 1, so a lot of our favorite fighters who didn't make it on this roster have a good chance of making it in before it's all said and done. Now, believe it or not, there's only about 38 characters who did not make it onto this roster. That is not including guest characters, and that does include cameos, because if you're a cameo, you're in the game. So of those characters who completely missed this game, who should make it on this roster before they close it out? And where should they go? We gotta talk about it. But first, let me know in the comment section 5 Mortal Kombat characters you want to see added in Combat Pack 2, but don't forget to smash that subscribe button if you don't want to miss any updates on Mortal Kombat 1 or fun videos like this. Let's get into it.
Run, boy, they coming on.
Alright, so this is going to be a 3-part video. Part 1, we're going to start off with 15 characters. Part 2, we'll look at the next 12 characters and we'll finish off with the final 12 characters in Part 3. So how does this work? It's simple. Green box, base roster. Yellow box, cameo. Red box, cancel Christmas. Let's go ahead and start it off with Blaze. Blaze. They could have had something with Blaze. We see Killer Instinct had a great character with Cinder, but I think Blaze's trajectory hurt him more than anything else. Debuted in Mortal Kombat 2 in the background fighting Liu Kang, or who I thought was Liu Kang at the time, apparently it was Hornbuckle, shout out to Hornbuckle. Came back in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance as just a flame man, kind of in the same vein as Cinder from Killer Instinct. And then from there, he's the main boss in Armageddon. I mean, what are we doing? A lot of people love Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but that game was not made for me, and I'm fine being the odd man out. So because I did not like Armageddon, Blaze is on the bottom level when it comes to bosses in the Mortal Kombat universe, and while he would probably be okay as a cameo, I'm gonna have to cancel Christmas on my boy, because I don't ever need to see Blaze in a Mortal Kombat game again. Next up, we got Baraicho. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I think Madame Bo is Baraicho in this new universe. But Baraicho would make a good cameo character, you know, doing all of his body fluids all over the screen. I think that'll work good for him, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock Baraicho in that cameo spot, even though I know, almost for a fact, that Madame Bo is taking the place of Baraicho. Maybe we put Madame Bo on the roster, I don't know. Next up, we got Cassie Cage. Now, Cassie Cage is an interesting one because we see Takeda's coming back. I don't know. His face looks older, so I don't even know if he's going to be lumped in with the combat kids anymore. I think he might be his own separate thing. But Cassie Cage is a bad one. I mean, come on, y'all. She was in the story. So you got to get Cassie Cage on the base roster. I mean, that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people don't like Cassie Cage, but I love her. So I think we can't leave Cassie Cage out. I think she deserves a spot. Next up, we got Cetrion. Cetrion, however you say her name. And a lot of people hate Cetrion. I understand, you know. People don't like the new characters, as I always say. But I'm not going to cancel Christmas on her because I think Cetrion is another character who would actually make it as a great cameo. I don't know if she would make it in Mortal Kombat 1, just because the story, Chronica, everything around that. But the cameo characters don't have to be tied into the story. And I think if they want to keep her in this Mortal Kombat universe, you want to get her face seen here. So I think a cameo would be an okay spot for Cetrion in Mortal Kombat 1. Now let's move on to our next characters. Pretty interesting set here. Pretty interesting set. So we got Kira. Now I think the only Kira we need to see in here is Kira from Death Note. Could you imagine the fatalities? Him writing down people's name, just doing all kind of crazy stuff. But I don't think we ever see anime characters in Mortal Kombat game, and probably rightfully so. But you know what? If they redo her character, she could work. Just like Mortal Kombat Snowblind. We'll lump these two together. If they redid Cobra and Kira's characters like they did in Mortal Kombat Snowblind, I think they would be great additions to the Mortal Kombat universe. You need more women on the roster. And you can't just do all men as DLC characters, but the problem with that is if we see Kira as a main roster character, I definitely want to see Cobra too. If y'all haven't seen Mortal Kombat Snowblind, definitely go check that out because these two characters were remade in that movie and I think they're great. But they scream cameo. They scream cameo. You know what? Let's do one of them. I think we do 1 and 1. So if we are going to be dropping these cameos in packs, because I don't know if that's the way it's going to happen or not, then I think you put Kira on the main roster just to get some more female flavor there, and you can put Cobra in there as a cameo for them to do kind of like the double team thing. Give them their look and personality from Mortal Kombat Snowblind, because that movie did way more for them than Mortal Kombat Deception ever did. Next, we got Drummond. Y'all might already see me grabbing a box right here for my boy Drummond. I know Drummond has a big cult-like fan base. Every time I say something bad about Drummond, you guys are always there to defend him, but just not for me. Just not the guy for me. They're going to have to do a lot of work with his character if they want to bring him back. And I don't think now's the time, so I'm going to have to cancel Christmas on my boy Drummond. Next up, we got Jarek. And next up, we got another cancel Christmas box because you can't put Jarek anywhere on this roster if Kano is not on the main roster. Period. All right, let's see who we got next. Ooh, we got some interesting ones here. We got some very interesting characters here. First up, we got Taven. I already aired my grievances with y'all from Mortal Kombat Armageddon because Taven is one of those guys who kind of did not work for me in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Let's go ahead and get that box right there. I mean, they were kind of trying to stick together for my boy Taven, but we got to cancel Christmas on him, y'all. I mean, if we look at what they did with Rain, like he's no longer like a prince anymore, or like he's not a god or anything, he's just a mage. What would Taven be if he came back? Rain couldn't even be his brother anymore, so I think we cancel Christmas on my boy Taven. Next, we got Shinnok. You know what? If I got more than one box here, we need to put them all on Shinnok. I think that's more than one cancel Christmas box, and we're going to need them all for Shinnok because I don't ever need to see Shinnok in a Mortal Kombat game again. Y'all might have been wondering what the X was for. This is what that X is for. Because I don't ever in my life need to see Shinnok in another Mortal Kombat game again. No matter what happens, no matter what the twist or story turns is going to be, it doesn't need to happen. Never needs to happen again. Gotta take the trash out. You know what? I don't think it was a coincidence that my trash alarm just went off when I was talking about Shinnok because bro is garbage. And I just said Blaze was the worst boss in Mortal Kombat history. I completely forgot about Shinnok. So Blaze has been saved because Shinnok is bottom level. We'll leave him alone. Next up, we got Kotal Khan. My boy Kotal Khan. Simple the year, man, but I like him. I like him. He just got to figure it out. You know what? If Liu Kang's going to split from Kitana in this new universe, Kotal Khan has to leave Jade alone. He has to leave her alone because she brings him down. She makes him weak, just like General Shao. He's been castrated like General Shao. You know what? I meant Shao Kahn because they castrated him in Mortal Kombat 11, but they castrated General Shao in Mortal Kombat 1 too. Already, what are we doing? We got to talk about that in another video, but you know what? I want to see Kotal Khan make it back on this roster. He's one of those characters, spoiler alert, just like Aaron Black, that fits so well into this Mortal Kombat universe. I don't want to see us skip out on him on a Mortal Kombat game because I think he needs to become a fixture just like one of these main characters that we have already. Now, next up, we got Kronika. All of the main bosses before have become playable, but Kronika has just disappeared. And after the story of Mortal Kombat 1, it looks like Kronika might really be gone. Unless she's like tucked away somewhere. Well, we do got all of these Titans, so you know what? Anything's possible now. Kronika could be a Titan in another universe. So Kronika could come back. She's never been a playable character before. And even though they said Mortal Kombat 1 would not be a continuation of Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 1 was most definitely a continuation of Mortal Kombat 11. So I say, why not make Kronika playable on this roster? I think she could be included in the next, in the story expansion they do. You know what? Why not? She doesn't have to be the main boss, but if we're bringing all of these Titans back, you know what? We still haven't talked about this story, y'all, or anything. And we haven't spoke about Havoc being the final boss in this game after what they did to him during the story. We got to talk about some story stuff later this week, y'all. But let's go ahead and move on to the next section. We got two big fan favorites. I didn't know how big that Nightwolf fan base was until this roster was revealed and people found out he wasn't on the roster. I saw the Nightwolf gang coming through almost just as strong as this Jade gang. Now let's talk about Jade first, even though we just spoke about Nightwolf. But Jade, after how Ed Boon kind of teased her so much, I think Jade is pretty much a lock-in. The fact that they're calling her Countess Jade, it sounds like she has a spot in this story that they did not explore at all. So the fact that she didn't make it on the base roster is really surprising. I think there might be something there in that story that they cut out. I don't know if it's because they didn't have time to get her ready or what, because apparently Quan Chi and Ermac, I don't know how true this is, but I heard the rumor that they were supposed to make it on the main roster and they just weren't done in time. And that would make sense because the roster is kind of skinny. I think it's only like 23. That 24 number would have made a big difference, but 23 is kind of slim. So I don't know what's going on there, but I think Jade is 100% going to make it in Mortal Kombat 1. And a lot of people like the Mortal Kombat 11 Jade look. I like this Mortal Kombat Deception Jade look. So let's get to that. And I know that's from the character select screen on Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but let's be honest. For Mortal Kombat Armageddon, they plucked the characters right from Mortal Kombat Deception. Next up, we got Nightwolf. I think Nightwolf absolutely needs to make it into this game. On the base roster, he would work well as a cameo because of his moveset, but I think Nightwolf is a base roster character and I would like to see him added. And last, but most certainly not least, we have the Created Fighter, which I thought would be in Mortal Kombat 1 because I thought we'd be getting some type of conquest mode, but we see that didn't happen. As far as a created character in Mortal Kombat 1, we see the characters in Chapter 15 and they look kind of crazy. So if we did get a created character like that, I wouldn't want to see that happen. And I don't honestly want to see a created character happen at all until Mortal Kombat 13, where we finally get that conquest mode and we create our own character to go through it. So that's it for our first 15 characters. Later this week, we will take down the next 12. But before we do that, we got to do a video talking about this story, y'all, because some interesting decisions were made. And we definitely got to talk about them. But thank y'all for tuning into this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.